falling off my bed. Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm doing a different kind of video, which is my 5 biggest tips for saving money. And I'm really excited about this. I want my channel to have a little bit of everything. So some vlogs, some DIYs, some life tips and hacks, and like fashion and style. So this is going to be the first video of like life hacks or like tips, and I'm pretty excited about it. So without further ado, oh actually I'm gonna put my Twitter and my Instagram up here so you guys can follow me. I put a lot of polls out there to see what you guys want to see from me, and just, you know, like ask me questions, things like that. So make sure you're following me on those, and subscribe of course, because I have been putting out videos every Wednesday. I've been pretty good about it, except for last week because my sister gave birth, which is obviously like a really good reason to not be putting out a video. So yeah, just make sure you're following me, subscribe to me, and without further ado, let's get into my 5 biggest tips. The first and probably the biggest tip I have for you guys is to stop eating out. So if you are in situations like where you're at school and you don't have time to go home and make something, or you can't bring something with you, then just minimize the eating out and do it in a smart way. So what I mean by that is, when you do eat out, don't get yourself a soda, don't get alcohol, things like that. Just get water, because we're fortunate enough to live in a country where water is free. Like when you travel to Europe, you can't order water in restaurants, and it's not free. You get bottled water and you have to pay for it. So take advantage of the fact that we get free water, and don't purchase a fountain drink. So that's one thing. And then another thing, sorry, I'm looking at my notebook right here because I wrote everything down, because I always get off tangent and I forget what I'm going to say, so I wrote things down so I don't do that. Okay, so I work in the restaurant industry, so I've seen couples come in and their bill comes out to like $100, and that's because they're getting fountain drinks on top of they're getting alcohol, they're getting like expensive steaks and things like that, and then they're also getting like appetizers and desserts. So if you are going to eat out, try to be like conservative about it, I guess. Like if you order water and you order like a bigger menu item, like a pizza, like a larger pizza, and you can just share, your bill's gonna come out to like $20-$25 like versus $100. So that's somewhere else where you can save money when you eat out. And then another thing is, if you eat out somewhere where you don't have to tip a server, where you don't have to tip a server, you're gonna be saving money there as well. So if you eat, you know, I mean, there's some places where you can still sit down and you don't have to tip. So like Pyology, Chipotle, I mean, tips are nice and all for the cashiers, but you don't actually like have to, because they're not really providing much of a service. It's kind of just extra. So if you want to do that, then I mean, if you do it in a place like that, you're going to be saving money that way. I think I just got real repetitive right there, sorry. But okay, so I did the math on this actually. And most people will only eat out like one meal of the day, right? And whether that's like sushi, Chipotle, Pyology, any of those places, it's going to be about like $10. But some people eat out for every meal of the day. And one of my favorite fast food places is Taco Bell, and I get the exact same thing, which is a chicken quesadilla and triple layer nachos with no beans. And every time I go, that comes out to $5. So for those people that eat out fast food every meal of the day, or only once a day but they're getting something a little more expensive like sushi and stuff, then let's just average it out to spending $10 on fast food a day. So there's about 30 days in most months, right? So let's do 10 times 30. So that's $300 a month on fast food. And when you multiply that by 12, you know, for the months of the year obviously, then you're spending $3,600 a year just on fast food. And that's a lot of money, and that's given the best case scenario where you're only spending $10 a day, when most of the time when you go out you spend more than that. So just think about how much you really are spending if you're not only eating out once a day, or if you're eating out to somewhere more expensive. So that's my biggest money saving tip for you. The second one I have is to break down your paycheck. So what I mean by that is, I have this clipboard, handy dandy clipboard and markers, so I can show you what I mean. So let's just use a paycheck that's $100 just to make it easy on the math part of it. So let's say you have a $100 paycheck, right? What I mean by breaking up your paycheck is breaking that down into percentages. So a good way to do this, so let's say you have bills that takes up 50% of your paycheck. And then let's say you're going to put 30% into your savings, 10% into your travel fund or whatever fund, like if you're saving up for something, that's what I mean in that 10%. And then the last 10% will be spending money. Oh my gosh, this marker is running out of ink. I should have checked it earlier. Oops. But let's say, so you have a $100 paycheck, 50% is going to bills, 30% you'll put into savings, 10% into a travel fund, and 10% into spending. So it looks like this. If you're doing something like this, this is going to help you out so much, because then you just have to follow a percentage. So let's say, I mean, like if you get like a weird paycheck, like $280 or like $700, then you just follow the percentages of your bills. And if you don't need 50% for your bills, that's even better, and just like change that accordingly and make savings bigger than your bills. But just breaking it down like this is going to help you a lot to see how much you're spending. And then it also gives you what is the word I'm looking for? Like, oh, a budget. It gives you a budget for your spending. So if you're only making a $100 paycheck, you're only getting $10 to spend. You know, doing stuff like this, it really helps you out, putting the numbers down. So that's my second tip. And oh, along with that, so if you're anything where you get paid cash, for example, I get tips, so I always have cash on me, have a saving jar. So this is my saving jar, and right now it's like looking a little sad because I just turned in all my coins, which is my third tip, by the way, is collecting your coins. So having your jar with your coins like this, like last time I took them to my Union Bank, so my coins are about like right here, I think, on this jar, and I got $130 out of it. So people just like discredit coins, basically, like they don't care about them. But if you actually collect them and just keep them somewhere, when you actually turn it in, you're gonna be happy you did, because it's like money that you don't even like realize you have. So, and then in here I also keep my loose bills. So if I have like a bunch of ones, and I sometimes put 5s and 10s in here as well, I just throw them in here, and it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Like I don't even realize that I lost that money. And then eventually, because this is my like travel jar for spending money in Thailand, yeah, eventually I can just like look and see how much I have. Like right now this is like $80, and I didn't even realize I put that much money away. So it's really cool. Like you kind of have to like trick yourself. My next tip for you guys is to cancel your monthly subscriptions and memberships that you don't use. So for example, I have my calculator here to help me out. I got $20 for Adobe, $10 with one of my gym memberships, and then I have another, so it's $30. And then I donate $5 every month to Greenpeace, and then I have $5 for my Spotify. And I use all of these things, so I'm not going to cancel any of them, but I know some people out there have like memberships that you don't even really remember that you have. But if you look at your statements and you see some and you realize that, you know, I don't use this at all, cancel them, because that's saving you, like this is $70 every month. But I use these things, but I mean, if I wasn't using them, that's $70 I'm throwing away every month. So make sure that you're actually using them, and if not, cancel them. My fifth and final tip for you guys is to wait 24 hours before buying any non-necessities. So what I mean by that is, if you're at the store, you're like online shopping or something, leave everything you like in your cart, sleep on it, and when you wake up, you're gonna know if like, you're either gonna wake up in one of two ways. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't stop thinking about that, I need that, in which case, you know, treat yourself, you know, yeah, go ahead and spend the money if you want. I mean, if it's like not too much, of course, if it's not crazy. But the other way, and usually this is what I see happening like within myself, I tend to be like, oh, I'm glad I didn't spend money on that. I really didn't need it. So make sure you're sleeping on your purchases for like 24 hours or like the next day or whatever, and just, you know, decide if it's something that you really need. And like also weigh it against other things. So just be like, okay, let's say you have like an online shopping cart and it's like $100. So weigh that with like traveling or something that you're passionate about. Be like, okay, is this $100 for like these couple sweaters from Victoria's Secret really worth it? Or should I put that money away and get to spend more when I'm traveling? So if you're okay with spending on like sweaters instead of like the travel, then go ahead and do it. But just make sure that you've really thought about it before you get it, because it is something probably unnecessary. Okay guys, so those were my 5 biggest saving tips for you. Let me know which one was your favorite, if you like videos like this, etc. Also, if you have any saving tips for me, go ahead and let me know. I would love to see them. Make sure you are subscribed to me, following my social media, etc. so you can give me your feedback. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and I will see you guys next video.